Hello, my name is Alice, and doing fan designs or redesigns is a scary thing in today's art and fandom climate. Now, I'm a bit of a TikTok addict, not in the sense that I lay for hours scrolling TikTok and I can't get out, but in the sense that I use it to wake up in the morning and I watch it while I'm waiting for a bus or for a train. And since I'm on it daily, and since I'm in a lot of fandoms and I am an artist, so I also see a lot of content related to that, I have seen the vile things people can say about your design if they don't agree with it. For example, I think most of us have seen the My Little Pony human design that was made and posted on TikTok in March of 2024. Now, I won't name the artist because I feel they get enough hate and vile comments, frankly, as it is. But essentially, they made some choices in their design that people strongly disagreed with. For example, they made most of the cast POC. They made some characters, including Pinkie Pie, Rarity, and Applejack, have bigger bodies. And some of the characters, despite being female, had more masculine-looking characteristics. Now, people hated this, and I'm not exaggerating at all. It's insane, and it's still ongoing today. I still get videos sometimes where people will just post about this redesign, this human redesign of the main six, and joke about it and make fun of it. Now, I'm all for free speech, don't get me wrong, and you're allowed to criticize whatever you want. Personally, the designs are not my favorite, and they're not the ones I would have made. I mean, you'll see the ones I'll make in this video. But that is just no excuse to bully someone on the internet. And I mean bully. People were so mean. Not a constructive comment inside, just hate and bullying. And this artist is still getting hate comments about this to this day. I mean, it was 8 months ago that was posted? Move on, please. And this is a reoccurring problem that the art community has, especially on TikTok, but probably on places like Twitter and stuff too, where instead of giving each other criticism, genuine constructive stuff to help each other develop, we bring each other down, and it's so disheartening to see. But the art community and its toxicity is something for another video, another day, maybe. The reason I started this video this way is because today I, as you probably read in the title, am drawing the main six as humans. And the reason I started this way was because I'm so scared. I'm not even gonna lie, I don't get views on my YouTube channel. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't make YouTube videos on the regular. But this is a project that I've been working on for a little while, and I'm scared. What if this get views and I'm canceled off the internet forever because some person didn't like my Fluttershy interpretation? You know what I mean? That's insane. But anyway, to try and prevent an eventual catastrophe, I'm going to put up 4 points to keep in mind during this video. And number 1 is that I have watched My Little Pony Friendship is Magic once with my girlfriend. I think it was 2 years ago or something like that. And a lot of the time when I see people redesigning or designing fan designs of My Little Pony, it's usually someone who watched it as a kid and has this like great love and nostalgia for the series. Keep in mind, I don't have that. Like, I like the series, I like the characters, but I don't have this like nostalgia factor. So keep that in mind while you're watching. If I get something wrong with your dear beloved characters, I am so sorry, but like, I'm just not an expert. Secondly, these designs are not based on Equestria Girls. Firstly, I have watched one Equestria Girls movie, and so I don't feel equipped enough to do redesigns of them. But also, in Equestria Girls, they're still colored the way they are as ponies, if that makes sense. Like, they don't have normal human skin colors. They're like colorful, and that's not what I'm doing. They're also like designed for a doll line, and again, that's just not what I'm doing. What I'm doing here is designing them as if they were humans living in this real human world. And that brings us to number 3. These are not redesigns. Again, it's not related to Equestria Girls, although I might compare some elements to how they look in Equestria Girls. So I'm not redesigning anything. I'm merely imagining what they would look like if they were humans. And number 4, this is for fun. Okay, I'm not doing this as like a super serious thing. This is just a fun exercise because I haven't been that creative lately, and so I'm trying to get back into drawing, and drawing 6 characters seemed like a good thing. So yeah, I'm sorry to start this video on such a serious and long note, but yeah, those are just some things to keep in mind, just because of the very serious and mean, frankly, air that exists around the artist and My Little Pony community at the moment. Oh, also, before I start, I have to put a trigger warning. There will be some light discussion of negative views surrounding bigger bodies. It's a very short, or at least I hope it will be a very short bit of the video, but you will be able to skip it if you don't want to hear about it, and I'll put a timestamp and a warning and everything before I start talking about it, so don't worry about it. But I just wanted to make sure that you know that that's going to come up so that it doesn't come as a shock to you. Anyway, let's begin. So we begin with Twilight Sparkle. Now, the way my design progress went is I began making a mood board based off of their character traits, their cutie marks, their pony design, and also their element of harmony. Now, Twilight's element of harmony is magic because that's what she studies in My Little Pony. Obviously, as a human, she wouldn't be able to study magic. I don't really know what she would study though, so put your thoughts down in the comments. Anyway, after the mood board was finished, I made a colored sketch to kind of test out the colors that I would use and the kind of energy and pose I want them to have, and then I start drawing. Now, the sketch is made in Procreate on iPad, but I draw primarily on Painttool SAI on my computer, for your information. Anyway, I listed one of her traits as being academic, and I don't really think that's a stretch at all. It's like a really big part of her character. So I wanted to really bring that into the design, and I've seen a lot of other artists do this as well. She also comes off as very neat and organized to me, so I also wanted her outfit to reflect that. Like, I wanted her to look put together and kind of carefully thought out. But I also wanted to kind of recognize that I don't think she's a fashion icon, okay? I've seen a lot of people when they make human or humanized versions of the main six, or just My Little Pony characters in general, they make them very alt, and I don't disagree with that at all. I love alt people. I love alt fashion trends. I think they're really cool and just expressive, and I love when people express themselves like that. However, I think in my AU or whatever, I don't see Twilight as being very expressive through her clothing. You know what I mean? I feel like she's not a person who cares that much about what she's wearing. Like, she does care about her clothes, that they're like tidy and stuff, but I don't think she's like a fashionista like Rarity that follows fashion trends or really explores herself through fashion. So admittedly, I gave her a little bit of a basic whatever style. It's still a little bit alt, like it's definitely not like a conventional outfit that is the norm or whatever. I don't know, I'm bad at explaining. But anyway, she's like a bit more tidy, and her outfit is inspired by like academic wear. But when I say that I'm trying to not make her as alt as some people sometimes do, I, for example, didn't give her colored hair. A lot of people, when they do the MLP human designs, they give them their hair color that they have as a pony, which again, it's like very colorful, unnatural colors, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, a lot of humans, especially alt ones, dye their hair. I just don't feel like Twilight would, at least not on a regular basis. So, therefore, I gave her a colored streak. Because I feel like Twilight is a very tidy, kind of follow the rules kind of person, in most situations anyway, I feel like she would think it was crazy and like really adventurous to color like one streak of her hair. Like, you'll see later, but some of my other designs actually do have colored hair, and I believe she would fully go to them and like with one strand of her hair dyed and be like, guys, I did something crazy, and they're like, what? And she's like, I dyed my hair, and they're like, no, and then she like FaceTimes them and it's like one streak, and they're like, where is it? We can't even see it. And she's like, what? It's such a big difference, oh my god, you know. I don't know, maybe I'm way off, but I don't know, I just imagined that in my head when I gave her the streak. Like, I feel like she would feel that it was such a big step in her life. Like, I have colored hair now, and it's like a streak, and some other people in her friend group that has like fully colored hair is like, girl, that looks great, but like, it's not that big of a deal, you know. But anyway, I made her hair kinda 60s inspired, you know, with those headbands and like the massive amount of hairspray and volume, except I toned it down in the volume department, I fear. I don't feel like she would be that adventurous with her hair. So I basically made her a very modernized 60s haircut. And I incorporated her cutie mark and the colors she has on her in pony form in her clothes, but I also did this on the other designs, you'll see later. I thought this was a nice way to kind of pay homage to what they look like in canon. I know they do this in Equestria Girls as well. They like put their cutie mark designs on their skirts and stuff to kind of fit that in there, but I don't want to get publicly bashed on the internet, but a lot of the Equestria Girl designs are just not my favorite. I know a lot of people get angry when people comment on them because, like, nostalgia, and you loved it so much as a kid, and so you still love it. But I don't have that lens of nostalgia. I just see it for what it is, and it's not great. It just isn't. Yeah. But I kind of wanted to bring that vibe. Like, I want to incorporate their cutie marks into their outfits. Now, I decided to make Twilight Indian. I did not have any particular reason for this. I've seen lots of people do it when they redesign her as a human, and I don't know, I just think it fits her. I just wanted to make sure to include some different ethnicities and body types and all that into their designs, because it's just so boring. I'm sorry, it's so boring when people make like a friend group and it's like 4 white people and 1 Asian guy, and it's just like, okay. I'm sorry, but I just think it's a bit boring. So I wanted to make sure that I had some diversity in this group. I also made Twilight short for, again, no like special reason. I just feel like she has short vibes, She's like authoritative but short and like stable. I don't know. She's like steady on the ground. And again, as I said before, I don't feel like she's over the top at all. I feel like she just has carefully planned accessories like the streak and those like hanging things on the glasses. I don't know what they're called. I know a lot of older people have them, but my girlfriend has them on her glasses and they look really cool. So I wanted to give Twilight some like accessorized ones and also kind of work in her cutie mark into those as well. I tried avoiding falling too hard into the typical nerd stereotype, but I also tried to kind of nod towards it with the glasses and the vest, but I didn't want to make her like a I'm actually kind of character, like I just wanted her to be a bit nerdy but not a walking stereotype, And I feel like she's like a spiced up nerd or whatever. Ew, that was kind of a gross expression, I'm sorry. But I wanted to put her in something that I feel like a younger woman in STEM, no, but like a younger woman who is studying would wear. I don't want the male gaze to destroy these girls. I don't want the stereotypes to get to them. But yeah, anyway, my final thoughts are that I'm happy with the results. I feel like I managed to get in the right amount of nerd and stylish / polished, oh lord, polished and alt. And I feel like she's balanced enough, for me at least. And most importantly, I think she looks like Twilight, or at least how I see her. That has been a struggle of mine throughout this thing, to like make them look like their characters, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to make just a human with similar looking clothes, like clothes inspired by the pony. I want to make them into humans that have their soul. Oh my god, I don't know. I wanted them to feel like themselves, even in human form, and I feel like I accomplished that with Twilight. So, yeah. Okay, next up is Applejack, and here's her mood board. Her element of harmony is honesty, and I feel like that kind of is the basis for her entire character. Like, she's very determined and stubborn and headstrong, and I'm really excited because she's my favorite. I know she's not like a fan favorite, I don't think. She can be a bit because she's stubborn and stuff. She's kind of stuck in her own ways, and I understand that some people find that annoying, and I understand that, but my girl, I love her so much. I love her color scheme. I love everything about her, okay? But as I said, she's sturdy, she's stubborn, and she does a lot of hard labor on the farm where she lives. And I really wanted to reflect that farm girl energy upon her. I know that a lot of people share this sentiment when designing her as human. I wanted to make her big and strong because farm work would allow her to grow her muscles from a young age, I'm thinking. But also, it's like, I'm kind of exposing myself here, but like, this is kind of like my type. I have several types, but one of my types, especially in women, is like being big and strong. I have this OC, sorry for geeking out for a moment, but I have this OC named Svea. She's like a troll, not an internet troll, but like a mythical troll. And she's big and strong, and I've simped for her for years. But enough of that. I wanted to make Applejack strong because it suits her character and it suits what she does in her everyday life. And I'm gonna be frank about this, I don't like the way Equestria girls put her in a skirt. It does not feel like something she would wear like day to day at all. And I'm not saying that strong and jacked women cannot be feminine. I'm not saying that at all. I just don't feel like Applejack cares what she wears at all. She wears what suits the situation best. She can be feminine, but I just don't think she's much of a fashion girly. I'm sorry. I think she's portrayed as a bit of a slob, so dressing up and wearing something fancy like a skirt doesn't feel like something she would do. And it doesn't feel like something that would be very comfortable to work in either. So I ditched the skirt and I gave her denim jeans. I also gave her an Apple Acres emblem on her shirt. I'm thinking almost like a logo or like a uniform to kind of symbolize that she's from Apple Acres and that they're kind of like a company or I don't know, production, I don't know what it's called. And I'm thinking they're like homemade patches that like Granny Smith sewed on, or is it called sewed? I don't know. I found these really cute cowboy boots on Pinterest with motifs on them, so I stole that idea. They were in the mood board, so there's like little apples on them. And of course I kept her signature hat and ponytail. I feel like she wouldn't really be Applejack without them. And I gave her dirty boots and pants to really show that she's a hard worker, and again, she's a bit of a slob, so she probably doesn't even notice the dirt being there, and if she did see it, she probably wouldn't care that much. In her pony design, she has like these white freckle looking things, and so I gave her human freckles, basically freckles that are like darker, on both her face and her body, because again, I'm also a freckle girly. I love freckles. My girlfriend has freckles. I'm sorry for being such a simp. Anyway, I am happy with the results. Again, she is my favorite and I'm simping, so I think it was kind of a given that I like this. Again, I think she looks like Applejack. I think she has her energy, and I feel like I managed to kind of capture that in her human form. And I'm sorry, her speed paint was a lot shorter than Twilight's. I don't know, some of these designs I have more things to say than with others. But yeah, I like the way this turned out, and let's move on. Now it's time for a second favorite of mine, Fluttershy. Again, I never watched My Little Pony as a child, but I remember I got Fluttershy as like a McDonald's toy or something when I was smaller, and I always loved the color combination of pink and yellow on her. And so she is just kind of a favorite of mine just because I like how she looks. I think she's pleasant to look at. So as you can probably see from the sketch, I did make the probably kind of controversial choice to not make her hair colored. And I'll explain more about that later, I think. But I wanted to give her kind of a boho / vintage shopper hippie kind of vibe. I feel like she's very like organic and all of that. Oh, yes, I forgot. Her element of harmony is kindness, and I think that reflects a lot on her character. Again, I wanted her to be this like organic, secondhand shopping friend of nature and animals, because in the show she loves animals and she has a lot of them, and like she just hangs out with them all the time. And I feel in a human version where global warming and littering and consumerism is much more of a problem than it seems to be in the ponyverse or whatever, I feel like she would be very like mindful of nature and what's in her clothes and what's in what she eats and how people treat animals and stuff like that. So she's very much in touch with nature and with animals in the human world too. And I think this means that she would be, I hate this expression, but like all natural, you know? And I'm not trying to suggest that it's wrong to wear makeup or to have plastic surgery or dye your hair or whatever. But I don't feel like she would do any of those things just based on like the ingredients of makeup and hairspray and hair coloring and Botox and stuff like that. So I feel like she has the personality for dyeing her hair, right? Like she has the style for it. She dresses in a alternative fashion style, but she's like, no, I don't want to dye my hair. Like, what if angel chews on it? You know, that was like a very terrible impression of her, so I'm sorry, but anyway, I feel like she would be like that. And I think she would have long hair, again, like all natural. She'd be like, oh, it grows on my body, I'll let it grow, you know. But I also think she kind of uses it as a way to shield herself off a bit, you know, because she is a very shy person, both in the show and in this AU. And so I think she can kind of use her hair as a curtain or like a coping mechanism for being uncomfortable in public when she doesn't want to make eye contact or doesn't want people to look at her. She can just kind of let her hair fall in front of her face, and it's this kind of safety for her. But her being shy does not mean that she's boring. Not at all. She expresses herself largely through her style, and she has fun sides too, which I wanted to come through in her design through her fun little accessories. Again, very organic accessories, very like eco-friendly, and there's no plastic. She wears like wooden beads and thread instead of rubber bands and stuff like that. And I put a bunch of little like small funny details on her that would let her personality shine through despite her being shy and maybe not talking that much. Like her little butterfly hair clip that is inspired by her cutie mark, and her hand-painted slippers that also has elements of her cutie mark. And I wanted to incorporate her colors in her outfit. They're like patchy and colorful and has a lot of fun patterns on them. And I feel like she definitely, you know, thrifts everything. And sadly, I feel like she's the kind of person to wear slippers whenever possible, so I'm so sorry about having to draw her feet. I know it's not actually a bad thing, but it's just like the way the internet treats feet is interesting. Anyway, I am okay with the result. I would have liked the pose to be a bit less stiff, but I'm thinking that maybe I can excuse it with that it fits her character, because she's kind of awkward and shy by nature, which does make you a bit awkward, especially in public. But I do like that I went with her natural hair. I know some people might not agree, but I don't know, I just feel like she would have her natural hair color. Like, she has the style for it, but her morals say otherwise. I don't know, you can feel free to debate that in the comments if you want, as long as you keep a nice tone, because I'm not waging war, okay? I'm redesigning ponies. Now we're moving on with Pinkie Pie. So I struggled a bit with her, I'm not going to lie. I wanted to really keep her like playful party spirit that she has. I mean, she is the element of laughter, so I really wanted to bring that into her design. My sketch of her, I wasn't that happy with it. I think, obviously I didn't put any detail onto their faces, and she just looks a bit goofy in the face in the sketch, and I don't think that helps. But I don't know, the pose and just everything, I don't know, it just felt a bit off, and I just wasn't sure about it. But I experimented around a lot with it, and I just that's what I landed on, so that's what I worked from. But in the drawing, I struggled with her style and with her face, and I had a hard time making her look like her. She has a very specific, very bubbly and energetic energy, and it was hard to capture into a still painting, but drawing, I think. But I tried to incorporating her into her whimsy makeup and colored hair, and I wanted her outfit to kind of be inspired by children's parties, so I think she does dress with like a childish kind of style, but it's still appropriate on an adult, if you get what I'm saying. I ended up using kidcore as inspiration. Now, kidcore is usually a bunch of saturated colors and a bunch of accessories, usually inspired by children's shows or as children's toys, or like, you know, those beads that children play with, you know, the ones with the letters on them and stuff. So a lot of kidcore is like accessories, but I didn't want to clutter her too much, because then I felt like you wouldn't see the design properly. So I'm thinking this is one of her more casual outfits, and this is what she wears when she doesn't want to clutter herself too much. But I'm thinking when she's like dressing up for parties, she's a bit more extreme and has a lot more accessories. And again, I gave her colored hair because I feel like if any of the main sex would have their hair colored in human form, it would be Pinkie Pie. And I love the fact that she has a pink afro, because it makes her hair kind of look like cotton candy, which I feel fits her very well. I wanted to put her energy into the pose she's making, like she's making a little funny, like, I don't know, a pose. But I don't know if I succeeded. Again, I'm just not sure about it. I don't know if she looks and feels like her, you know? But I gave her a bunch of fun accessories, like I gave her star earrings. I know her cutie mark has no stars, but I feel like she would love to decorate herself with stars and hearts and confetti and stuff like that. Also, sorry about the blue-eyed stare I gave her. Her Canon pony design has blue eyes, and I know it's very uncommon for black people or people of color in general to have blue eyes. But I'm thinking maybe she's wearing contacts. I'm not sure. It's not that big of a deal to me if she has a rare eye color or if she's just wearing contacts to kind of match her clothes that day. It doesn't really matter for me. But I know some people find the blue-eyed stare very creepy, and I get that. So you can headcanon whatever you want. I also made her bigger, because I think she has that energy. I think she's a chubby/fat girl, and I hate the comments surrounding her fat fan designs. So this is the part that I mentioned in the beginning in my trigger warning. I am going to talk about some of the comments that have been directed towards artists who has drawn Pinkie Pie as a bigger person, and how much they piss me off. essentially. So if you're triggered by that, or if you just don't want to listen to it, you can skip. I'll put a timestamp on the screen, and I'll give you a few seconds to skip to that timestamp. So there you go. So I'm sorry that this is a bit more serious than the rest of the video, but this is something that I felt that I had to comment on, especially as a bigger person myself. There is nothing wrong with bigger characters. An argument I see made against bigger characters a lot is that it glorifies obesity, but it doesn't. It just doesn't. I'm sorry for swearing, but this is a very hot topic for me. All it does, no matter the character's size, is acknowledge that bigger people exist, no matter what you think of it. And I'm not talking about health. I'm not trying to advocate for a health at every size kind of mindset. That is not what this is about. I'm talking about inclusivity, and that it is very important to see fat bodies and bigger bodies and chubby bodies and all kinds of bodies in media. It's not normalizing health issues, it's normalizing that people look different. Not everyone can be smaller, and even if someone wants to lose weight or can lose weight, bullying is never the answer. Bullying a fat or bigger person just because of how they look will not help them lose weight. Like, literally, if you're sending hate to someone over the internet or face to face, doesn't matter. If you send hate to someone because of the way they look, their weight, their ethnicity, their sexuality, whatever, you're just a disgusting fucking person. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it pisses me off so fucking bad when I see these Pinkie Pie like fan designs that literally they're doing nothing wrong. They've literally just made her a bit bigger, because again, these are human designs of literal cartoon ponies. These ponies do not have any canon skin color, ethnicity, or height, or body type, or anything. And the artist is literally just putting their interpretation on the character, and then people give them these massive waves of hate and really just showing their fat phobia and like flaunting it to people as if it's a normal thing. And it's not. It makes you a disgusting person. If you act like that, get better. Like, I don't know, get a life. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I'm sorry. This is it's a very hot topic for me, because I can't for my life comprehend how people can be so fucking vile and evil and mean for no reason. You're making something that is supposed to be fun and lighthearted into something much darker and just more horrible than it's supposed to be. And what disgusts me the most is people masking bullying and harassment as caring for someone's health. Like telling a fat person that they're disgusting and ugly and they should hit the gym, and then trying to cover it up by saying, oh, but I just want you to be healthy. Get out of here, man. Again, I'm sorry for that little rant and that it got so dark in this otherwise lighthearted video. I just felt like I had to put that in there because it's very there and very apparent and such a problem, not just in the MLP community or in the artist community, but just over the world in general in society, and it just disgusts me and tires me. Not just as a bigger person myself, but just as a human, honestly. But anyway, if you skipped to this point, welcome back. You didn't miss anything, you just missed a rant. But in conclusion, I'm kind of divided on this design. I think that the style I gave her really suits her, but I just don't know if I captured her energy correctly. Like, I feel like in these designs, the most important thing to me is that they look like themselves and that they look like the character, you know? And I think I would be able to guess that this was Pinkie Pie, but I don't know if I feel that her energy is truly there. It sounds like I'm talking about a ghost, but she's a very bouncy and happy person, and it's just, as I said, it's hard to capture it in one picture. But I hope I did do her some type of justice. She's not my favorite character out of the main 6, but lots of people love her, and she definitely deserves that love, and I do love her energy. So, yeah, I hope I did her some form of justice. And now we're moving on to Rainbow Dash. So here's the mood board for Rainbow Dash. I assume that you can see that Adam Sandler's in there, and that's because a lot of people headcanon her as that she would like dress like Adam Sandler as a human, and I agree full-heartedly. And I'm not even gonna lie, this is one of my favorite sketches that I made. I feel like I captured her energy so exactly. Like, I feel like this is her to a T. And I could be completely delusional and wrong. Make sure to tell me if I am, but I feel like I really captured her energy. I love the headcanon that she dresses like Adam Sandler, because I feel like she would. It fits her so well. And I love the designs, because I've seen a lot of fan designs where people make her kind of alt and scene core almost, to kind of work in the rainbow colors, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I love those designs, but personally I don't feel like that's her vibe, at least not in this AU. She is very athletic, and she likes to be on the move whenever, so I feel like she would dress accordingly. And I just realized I forgot to say her element of harmony. I keep forgetting that for some reason. Her element of harmony is loyalty, and I don't know if I really worked that into the design that much. I feel like that's more her personality than something that affects her style that much, but anyway. Again, kind of like Applejack, I don't feel like she cares about her clothing that much. She just throws on whatever's lying around and that fits the occasion, and I feel like she always dresses in kind of loose-fitting, sporty clothing, Speaking of Applejack, this is a small sidetrack, by the way. I don't want to get into any shipping wars or anything, because I know this is a bit of a controversial topic in the MLP fandom, but I personally ship Appledash in the Ponyverse, and then I ship Rary Jack in Equestria Girls, and I think my girlfriend does too. And I just want to hear your thoughts and maybe prayers about that, because I know there's like an ongoing shipping war in the MLB fandom, especially when it comes to like Applejack and who she should be with, if it's Rainbow or Rarity. And I just want to know what you think. What do you ship in the regular pony world? What do you ship in Equestria Girls? And what do you think would happen in this human AU that I'm kind of designing right now? Like, do you think Applejack would date Rainbow or Rarity or both or none? I don't know. Give me ideas. Anyway, I loved my sketch, so I followed it almost to a T. I gave her shortcut hair, and I definitely headcanon that she cuts it and colors it herself, which is why it looks so like unbalanced and messy and just poorly dyed. She like cuts it herself every like month or so, and she dyes it whenever it grows out. She just chooses a random color and like dyes that specific area, so it's just a very patchy and weird looking. And she like genuinely thinks it looks so good, and her friends can do nothing but be supportive. She's like, oh my god, look guys, I got like this new haircut and I got this new hair dye, and they're like, wow, you look great. It's just Applejack that's like, why are you guys lying to her? I think it looks really bad. I'm so sorry, I probably butchered that so hard. Anyway, I gave her AirPods. I don't know why. It's like the vibe. She just feels like the kind of person to buy AirPods and think it's really cool or something. And I know the AirPods and the earrings kind of overlapping are a little busy, but I didn't want to exclude any of them since she doesn't have that many accessories and that much detail. So I feel it would be fine. Like, I know it's kind of a design flaw and it's kind of a design sin or whatever, but I thought it was a bit too iconic to not to keep. She also has a nose piercing, and I feel like she probably got that completely spontaneously too. I don't know if she is a spontaneous person. I just feel like she is, but I might be wrong. She also has a Sonic t-shirt because I definitely feel like she would watch Sonic and like love it and be like, oh my god, we're basically the same person, like, because he's fast and blue and shit, and she's like, oh my god, that's literally me, and everyone else is like, okay. And so I gave her these red running shoes that kind of also matches Sonic's. She probably won't admit to anyone that that's why she bought them, but that's why she bought them. And originally, those red shoes were supposed to be like super ugly, like the kind that only preteen schoolboys wear during gymnastics, you know? But I put like a little bolt on them, and I don't know if I'm just dead in terms of fashion, but I think they turned out a little bit too cool to be that ugly with the bolts, sadly, but you know. Now in hindsight, I think I should have given her a tattoo because she definitely has the vibe for it, but I don't know what I would give her, so make sure to comment and give a suggestion if you have any ideas. Sorry I'm asking so much for you to comment. It's definitely not something you have to do. I could have incorporated more of her cutie mark, like the cloud, but I do feel that bolts and rainbows are enough. And speaking of rainbows, I thought it was hard to incorporate all the colors into the clothes, so I kind of stuck with incorporating her hair as rainbow, kind of like her pony has, because I didn't want to make the color scheme too crazy, even though she has rainbow hair. But I'm pleased with the way she turned out. Again, she's like one of my favorites. And the AirPods may be a bit busy, but otherwise, like, I like how she turned out. And I did give her rainbow shading just because, well, she's the rainbow pony. And it kind of turned out to look like eyeshadow if you zoom in on the picture, which I feel like she wouldn't really wear eyeshadow, especially if she's like out for a run or something. But it's like a minor thing in my opinion. So I think 8 out of 10. I think this is one of my favorite designs. I don't know if you agree, but I like it. And now it's time for Rarity. Our last one on the list of designs. So her mood board is by far the most not complicated, but stuffed with images. And that's because she is the fashionista, so I was like putting a lot of pressure on myself to try and like find the right articles of clothing that I think she would wear as a human, and trying to figure out the color scheme. As you can see on the sketch, I decided on a color scheme of mainly purple and black, but there's also some white and some accent blue and some silver jewelry thrown in that you can't really see that well in the sketch. Also, I just realized I was sitting by my computer that has a very loud fan, so I'm sorry about that. But Rarity is my girlfriend's favorite pony. She is a fashionista, and her element of harmony is generosity. Now, I made her Asian, Korean specifically. Just like with Twilight though, like there's no specific reason. I don't think I've seen any fan arts of people doing this as I can remember. Like, I'm not saying I'm the first one to make Rarity Asian. Like, obviously someone else has done it before me, but it's just not something that I've seen so commonly that I remember. But I don't know, maybe it's a common thing. And I haven't drawn a lot of Asian people before. I don't know why. I don't think there's a specific reason. I guess characters I've drawn just haven't been Asian. Like, there's not a lot of Asian rep unless you watch Asian shows, which I generally don't. And if I do, it's by chance. So this was a bit of an exercise. I used a lot of references to kind of see what Asian and Korean features generally look like. So that was a really good exercise for me. Anyway, I wanted her to be on the slimmer side, but still a bit curvy. So I did struggle with sketching her out in the beginning. I don't know why. I've drawn bodies like it before. I don't know. I guess I just kind of messed it up in the beginning, and then I tried to fix it, and it just became a bit messy. But I think I succeeded in the end. Her main colors as a pony are purple, white, and blue, and I wanted to incorporate that into her design. And I also wanted to add black because, I don't know, I feel like it fit her. Like, I understand how it doesn't fit into her design as a pony, but I feel as a person, as a human, she would wear black, I think, as an accent color, if not as a main thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty, proud of how the colors came out on this one. I think I balanced it well, but I'm not an expert at all, so I don't know. But in my opinion, I think I spaced it out well and I balanced it out well. So I gave her the main colors of white, purple, and black, and then had blue and her silver accessories as supporting or secondary colors. I was originally, as you maybe saw in the sketch, gonna put her cutie mark on her skirt, both to work in the cutie mark, but also kind of as a nod to Equestria girls, where, again, generally they put their cutie mark, just slapped it on their skirts, and I wanted to do it in, a stylish manner. But when I got to that part of the skirt, I was like, I don't know, because to me, at least in this AU, Rarity wears kind of clean cut, kind of basic articles of clothing, but then uplifts them with tiny accessories and as I said, complementary colors and stuff like that, which is what kind of shows that she's a good fashion designer and that she understands fashion, is that she takes basic articles of clothing and then spices them up and makes them look really good, and this was kind of a headcanon I had in mind while sketching her. I don't know if everyone will agree with this, but I feel like, since she's a fashion icon, I feel like she cares a lot about how she comes off. And I kind of take that from the series. I don't remember exactly scenes or anything, but I seem to remember that in the show, she was kind of self-conscious and she cared a lot about how people perceived her, because she loved to make herself look good and she wanted to look good. I don't know, maybe this is something that I've just imagined, but I seem to remember her being kind of conscious about what other people think about her and how other people feel, because she has the element of generosity. I don't know, I think that's something that develops through the series, but I basically felt like she cares a lot about how she looks and she wants to look good, mostly for herself but also for other people. And so she has these kind of basic articles of clothing that she styles to look really fashion, very polished, and then when she makes clothing, she's a bit more adventurous, I think. I don't know, that was just an idea I had, that she dresses kind of basic but still stylish, and then when she makes clothing, she really lets her creativity flow and creates like beautiful gowns, like for the Galloping Gala episode and stuff like that. I gave her signature purple hair, and it's like perfectly dyed with no roots. I feel like she dyes her roots like as soon as they grow out, because she wants to almost be perceived as if like that's her hair color. Like obviously she doesn't think anyone actually believes that's her hair color, but she kind of wants to be known for that, I feel. As like a fashion designer, her looks also play into things, and like she wants to be the perfect like head of maybe she has like a company or something like that. Anyway, I gave her a white cropped top, a black long skirt with a slit, dark sunglasses and a handbag, dark heels, and a purple jacket. And she has a lot of confidence, although, as I mentioned before, I think she cares a lot about what people think anyway, even though she knows that she looks damn good and like is cool as hell. Like she still has the sense of like, but what do others think of me? And I think that's something that she develops through her life and kind of learns to distance herself from, you know. But anyway, as I mentioned, this is my girlfriend's favorite pony or character from My Little Pony, and I'm pleased with the way she turned out, and my girlfriend approved, so that feels good. I think she feels like Rarity, although I'm thinking maybe the real Rarity from the show is a bit more over top. I went kind of heavy in on the like her looking polished and stylish, but I seem to remember in the show that she has a lot of moments where she almost like screams and she's like kind of hysterical, so maybe I should have included that. I don't know, but I feel like those moments are kind of funny because she's usually calm and collected and polished. I don't know, man. But I think I nailed her, and that feels really good because I was really excited about this one. And with that, friends, we are finished for this video. Here is the finished result. I guess I'll show every one individually and then show them together or something. But this has been really fun. When I first got the idea for this, I was like on the fence on whether I should do it or not, because I was like, where am I gonna post it? Like, and I haven't watched that much My Little Pony, and like, it's so difficult to post your art on TikTok. It never gains any traction. The only thing that ever gains traction on my TikTok is like when I make a no effort video about some fandom stuff, you know, and that's fun, but sometimes you like to have some views on your own work as well. And that's when me and my girlfriend came up with the idea that maybe I should get sprites and become a little more like art focused on my YouTube channel that I just upload on randomly when I feel like it. And I don't know, maybe this won't get any views at all, and honestly I'm just as fine with it because I loved making this. I have been kind of out of it creative wise for like a while. I write and I draw, and I've been writing and drawing way less than I was like a year or two ago, and I've just been out of the zone for so long, and so it feels so refreshing to dive into a project like this. It really revamped like my creativity. I mean, I've been drawing like one of these a day for like a week now, and it has felt amazing. I'm not gonna lie, it feels like I'm back from like some coma or something. So even though this might not get any views, it might not reach anyone, I'm so happy to have made it because it's really revamped me as an artist, and I feel like I can truly walk away from this and feel like I've done something finally with my creativity after so much time of just not. So yeah, I think this is a new era for this YouTube channel, no matter if I'm the only one watching or not. I'd also like to apologize for the dark topics in this video, but I felt like there are some areas, sadly, of this fandom and the artist community on the internet that has just turned into such toxicity, at least parts of it, during the last few years. And I just needed to like bring it to people's attention because make my stance on it, I guess, because it just tires me and it saddens me to see. Well, that being said, if there's any criticism anyone watching has, go easy. Constructive criticism is always appreciated, but remember that I have feelings like anyone else, and so do other artists. I think in the artist community we need to go way easier on each other. Like, there's literally no reason to wage war over like the smallest of things and to like act like a bully over nothing. So just keep that in mind, like keep a good tone no matter what your opinion on someone's art is. And for last thing, I just want to say I'm so thankful for my girlfriend, who I keep mentioning in this video. I'm so sorry I keep bringing her up over and over again, but I just love her so much. And she drew these sprites for me like in a week. In the time that I was making these MLP designs, she has been producing, I think, 50 something sprites, because I think from the beginning I wanted like 10, and she was like, yeah, I'll do that for you, and then she just kept going like a machine. So I think it's safe to say that this project has been very fun for the both of us, and there's definitely more videos to come. Although this channel might not become anything serious, I like putting up videos, and this has really just sparked a want and a need inside me to make more videos. And so I'm already planning for another video. I think it's going to be a video essay, but you'll see more about that in the future. So if you're watching, thank you so much. Consider, liking, following, or just leaving. That's completely fine too. I don't judge. But thank you so much for watching. Good luck to you and have a great life.